Entering a networking event, always a bit daunting.
Smile. It makes you way more approachable.
Just kind of go for it. Just go up to a group of people. Sometimes I'll prepare by thinking some questions that maybe I could ask.
And try to find a natural break in conversation.
My recommendation would be bold, be confident.
Step in to the circle or maybe up to the cocktail table, whatever the event happens to be.
Keep your eyes open to your surroundings. Maybe look at people's clothing if they're wearing anything that represents the company that they're from, or even their name tag. You know, great way just to kind of extend your hand and say, hi, so-and-so, my name is.
It doesn't have to be anything too amazing. I think just start the discussion with people.
My favorite conversation starter with people I don't know, as boring as it might sound, is just to ask people where they're from. It's a pretty generic, non-offensive to anyone question.
When was the last time you stepped outside of your comfort zone?
One is, tell me a little bit about yourself. The other one that's quite good if you're in an event and maybe you're brand new and you're a long ways away, is tell me how far you've come to get here.
So if you can try and talk about their background, and I worked in agriculture my whole career, so a lot of times it's something to do with that, where what part of the country you're from. It's always interesting to find out practices in a different part of the world, a different part of the country.
When I'm at a networking event, the best way to leave a current conversation and move on to another one typically is to act natural and be very sincere when you say, hey, it was really great meeting you. I hope we can connect at a later date on such and such that maybe you found you had in common, and say something along the lines of, well, I see someone over there who I've been wanting to catch up with all night. If you'll excuse me, I'm going to go grab them really quick. Act natural. Be cool. It's not weird. They're probably doing the same thing, and in fact, you could also try. You're a really busy person. I'm sure there's a lot of people here you also want to talk to, so I'll let you get to that.
Timing your exit, it can't be too long or too short at a networking event. So you need to stay long enough to establish a genuine connection. And then oftentimes those genuine connections maybe last longer than you would even anticipate.
Say their name again if you can, because as we all know, it's very hard to remember names.
What I do is just kind of be honest with them. Just say, hey, well, I'm trying to get better at this networking thing, so I better keep moving.
I would say one of the first things I notice when I meet new people is kind of what is their presence, and are they a confident person? Can I pick up that they're really nervous or feeling uneasy? So the more calm and confident that you can be in a networking situation, the easier it is for others to connect with you.
Are they engaging? Are they asking questions? Or are they simply standing off to the side and just listening? So my recommendation at networking events in particular is be bold and bring a lot of energy to the plate.
Eye contact. That's very important to not only personally but also professionally. Also positivity. We always want to be surrounded by positive people.
For me, a lot of times it's curiosity. Are they interested almost more than are they interesting? Can you come up with a topic, or they're curious about the business you're in, or the company you work for, or where you grew up, and that type of thing. And that's something I always remember. Did they ask a good question? Very
similar to the last question, I think a great first impression begins with a firm handshake, not too hard, but not too soft, but a firm handshake and eye contact. Very important, firm handshake and eye contact, immediately followed by some engaging conversation of some type.
Pay attention to your body language, practice in the mirror if you have to, and especially put down the cell phone.
So as someone who works with recruiting a lot of students, one thing that a lot of you are, understandably so, is nervous whenever you're talking to potential employers or people who you're trying to network with. And the more collected and confident and poised you can be, the easier it is to have a nice, easy conversation.
I think a lot of people you'll hear today more talk about introverts versus extroverts, and that introverts just aren't naturally going to be good at this. But it's not really, I don't think, a ability you're just born with. You can try and get better at it. So if you're challenged with, you're nervous about having a conversation or nervous about joining into a group, sometimes you just have to make yourself do it. And again, you can use some of these tips to get better at it, and it's something you can improve if you work at it. And you don't have to be an extrovert to be good at talking to people.